Okay. Hey. So in the last couple of weeks, I've been asking you guys on Instagram things that you wish you would have known before you went to art school, and I've been asking my fellow classmates around campus what they wish they would have known. So from all of you, from Instagram and here on campus and myself, here's everything you should know before you major in art. So the main question is it worth it? Is it worth all the debt to major in art? Here's my honest opinion. So I'm an art education major and I plan to teach high school art. I want to teach drawing, painting, probably not ceramics. No hate to ceramics, love it, just don't want to teach it. So for me, my degree is, it's fluctuable, if that's a word, probably not. Compared to people I know here who are art illustration majors or just studio art majors, it's different. In my honest opinion, if you don't have a set plan on what you're doing and you're just coming to art school and spending, going 100 grand in debt and majoring in studio art, it's gonna be really hard to find a career. But then again, this is just my personal opinion. But from what I've heard from fellow majors that are not art education or just set on something specific, they said it's been really hard to find out what they want to do with their degree and where they're gonna go. So one of the biggest things I have for you guys is to make sure you know what you're gonna do with it. I've met a lot of fellow art majors who weren't always art majors, so it is completely okay coming to college undeclared, especially for your first 2 years when you're doing your gen eds. So you have a lot of free will and a lot of free time to take those classes that you are interested in or maybe interested in that could spark an interest for you. So the big debate if art college is really worth it, it's really up to the individual. For me, specifically, since I'm going into education, yes, but for others, it may be different. A big thing about art school is how it humbles you. I don't think I was really prepared for how humbled I'd be when I get here. Going in high school, you were just, the art kid of your classroom. You were the person for the group projects who did the posters. You were on top of the world. And then you get to art school and you realize, hey, everyone got in the same reason that I did. So it's really intimidating when you're starting projects and your teacher tells you to walk around the room and look at everybody's and you're like, dang, I might have to step it up. Comparison is the greatest killer of creativity, so I would really start practicing not comparing yourself. I struggled with it a lot last year. I didn't feel like a lot of my work was really up to standard with what everyone else was doing, but then again, art is really susceptible, and everybody looks at it differently, perceives it differently, and feels it differently. I will say you're probably gonna have a lot of weird experiences while in art school. And I have a bunch of stories I could tell, but I'll save that for another video. Art supplies are gonna be expensive. Do not buy everything on that list. Do not. I made this mistake. So if you don't know you need it 100%, do not buy it unless you can return it, because I did not keep my receipts. I learned now. My recommendation is to go to class for a week with any class in general before you buy any textbook, just to see what it's like, because it's a lot of money. As for studio supplies, again, a lot of money. But yeah, we're hungry, we're broke, starving artists in college, and it's not really in my budget to be spending hundreds of dollars each class for all these art supplies. So if you have things at home that you can bring, like canvases, right now my painting class, they don't supply canvases, but at home I got 15 in my closet, so I just brought a whole bunch here and they should last me the semester. Specifically with the printmaking paper, that thing was 20 bucks or something. I did not open the package. Most supply lists are through Blix, which I didn't hear about until I got to college. It's just a art supplies online store, basically. But if you can't find it on Amazon, that's where I would go. But honestly, look on Amazon before you look anywhere else. Art classes are longer than normal classes. In some campuses, I know that some art classes are 7 hours long. If you are taking a 7-hour art class multiple times a week, I have no words. Here at my university, all of our art classes are 2 hours long. It makes sense in my head, honestly. You're there longer time because you're doing more hours of work. Outside of class time, you will be working on these art projects for hours. I specifically last semester spent a lot of time working on the floor of my dorm doing my drawings. Let's talk about some of the assignments you're gonna see in art school. There is gonna be a big majority of busy work. There's gonna be a lot of work working from the basics all the way up to the intermediate professional stuff. Literally, the first week of my drawing class, we were drawing bricks. We drew each brick for 20 minutes. Art school is really broken down, and I kind of struggle with that because I just want to get going. I have projects ready to go. And as much as we think we already know everything, it is good to pay attention because I have learned a bunch of things that I did not know. There's also going to be a lot of assignments that are really boring. You'll be making things like this, and like this, and like that. Another really important thing about art school is deadlines. I will say, if you have a good relationship with the professor is really nice, you can always reach out to them and say, hey, can I get an extension? But especially if there's a critique involved with projects, which there usually is, there's not a lot you can do. I'm a big procrastinator, I'm not even gonna lie. Make sure you know yourself and your procrastination like me, and do not set yourself up for failure. The next thing I'm gonna talk about is critique. If you don't know what a critique is, it's usually at the end of some project, you all take your piece of art and hang it on the wall, and you just talk about it. You'll talk about the contrast, all the fancy words that describe your piece and the color and the shapes and the line. It is basically constructive criticism. I remember one of my art teachers literally telling us to stop being so nice. While compliments are really awesome, it's also really important to get that criticism in so you can see what other people are seeing. It's really just an opening into the professional world and how people talk about their art and describe other people's art. In my printmaking class, this is where I experienced my first critique. There was a problem with this class. This class had about maybe, I want to say almost 20 people in it. So in theory, each critique should have taken about 5 minutes or so because we have a 2-hour class. The problem with this class is we were making a lot of just like commentary. Basically what would happen is we just kept getting drifted off from critiquing. Not one time, but 2 times our printmaking critiques extended our 2-hour class period. This meant that the next class period we would have to continue our critique that we didn't finish, which would cut into our new time of explaining our new project. If I'm being honest, this made me kind of upset because both of those times I did not be able to get to my critique. Basically, just with critiques, please just have the common decency and don't drag them out. Another thing with critiques is you have to hang them on the wall a certain way. For instance, you have to hang it at the average eye level. You also have to hang your art with certain wire or certain hooks on the wall. I wanted to talk a little about feeling burnt out as a college art student. There's not a lot of space for you to be burnt out, if that makes sense. There's no time to be burnt out as an art major. You are constantly just putting out a bunch of different projects and art pieces, and it can be a lot. I really recommend, unless you're just some academic weapon robot, to not take more than 16 credit hours. I also really recommend, if you're really great at taking online courses, to take your gen eds online. So if you are feeling burnt out during art school, you're not alone. Honestly, I'm not proud of everything I've made since I've been at art school, but you won't be, and that's okay. Now for the technology requirements of college. I personally have an iPad, a MacBook, and a desktop computer. You do not need all these things. I also have an off-brand Apple Pencil that does its job. It was like $20 on Amazon. I do my notes on my iPad, and I also draw on it too. I don't do a lot of digital art, but if you are doing digital art classes, I would recommend getting one and possibly an actual Apple Pencil. I use my MacBook for literally everything else. I use it for my YouTube, my Instagram, my Canva, and as for my desktop computer, it's kind of the same thing, but I also do esports. I'm a nerd, I know. So I play a lot of games on my desktop, so that's kind of its main purpose. Make sure you are building a relationship with your professors. I now have a really good relationship with a lot of professors in my building, and right now I'm working on a lot of projects around campus, and they have been an awesome help. These people are professors for a reason. They are also really great for future references. And since I'm going to be a teacher, these people are probably going to be my references for getting my first job as a teacher. As for getting engaged with the rest of your campus, I'm really involved with my campus, but I will say I got way too involved last year. This year I had to step away from a couple organizations I like because I just don't have enough time for them all. I'm currently president of my university's art association. I'm also on the exec board of like 2 other organizations, possibly another one, and I'm probably gonna have to step down from one of them. Some of these organizations have helped me find my friends, and I don't think I would have met them any other way if I didn't join them. Well, I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. I enjoyed talking to you about all these things. If there's anything you feel like I missed, go ahead and leave it in the comments below, and feel free to leave in the comments other videos you'd like to see from me. If you really did like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and go ahead and follow me on Instagram for more updates. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!